What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we are going to break down Morgan Moses' injury timeline. Aaron Rodgers drops an insane comparison for Olu Fashanu, and Breece Hall and Aaron Rodgers have some fun. Today's video is powered by BetUS. Sign up using YouTube 150 and receive a 150% match deposit bonus on your first deposit, 125% on your next two deposits following that one, up to $2,000. So you're getting match deposit bonuses on 3 straight deposits from our friends over at BetUS. If you want to get in on Aaron Rodgers to win the MVP, he is plus 1,800 on BetUS. That means bet 100, win 1,800. He played like an MVP level quarterback in week 3. Do we see that continue in week 4? If we do, I would expect those odds to not be as long. So get the value while you can. If that's something you want to place a little wager on, you can. Fantastic news on the Morgan Moses injury front. About the best news as you could possibly get. Robert Saleh confirmed earlier today that Morgan Moses will not be going on injured reserve.
What's the update on Morgan?
Morgan, he's going to be a couple games, but obviously not enough to put him on IR.
Yeah, MCL?
He's just dealing with a knee.
So it sounds like Morgan Moses is going to miss the next couple of games, which was kind of my expectation. When he first went down and when he was like, in a ton of pain on the field, it did not look good. I thought, man, like maybe this guy's season's going to come to a close. But after the game, we found out that it was going to be relatively good news. And it seems like he's going to miss the next couple of games. My educated guess, this is not a definite, but my educated guess is that he'll miss the next 2 games on Sunday against Denver, and then on the road in London the following week. We might see him back in time for the Buffalo game. Monday Night Football, have a little bit of extra rest. If not, you push him a week beyond that. But again, my expectation is that Morgan Moses probably misses the next 2, but thankfully in comes Olu Fashanu, who the New York Jets drafted in the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft. I mean, how could you not be impressed with what you've seen from Olu in training camp, the preseason, and in the regular season? He played 14 snaps against the Patriots at right tackle and looked really strong, honestly. It was not noticeable to the naked eye, which is a win for an offensive lineman. If you are, if you're being highlighted a lot as an offensive lineman in game, that usually is a negative thing. If you go back and watch the tape, he won like 13 of his 14 reps. There was one where it was like, maybe that wasn't the greatest rep, but we're really nitpicking here. He also had 24 preseason snaps. So if you combine those 2 numbers, you're looking at nearly 40 snaps without him allowing a quarterback hit or a sack. As a young rookie, by the way, who's playing a position that's not technically his natural spot. He comes into the league as a left tackle out of Penn State. I think he is the left tackle of the future for this Jets team. But something I wanted them to do, and they ended up doing this preseason, was to get him some reps at right tackle in case there was an injury to Morgan Moses. To either tackle spot, I wanted Olu to be the first guy up. And 2.5 games into the New York Jets season, the pick that was once called a luxury became not so much a luxury when you needed someone to come in and play right tackle. So Olu is going to start, I would assume, the next 2 games, maybe more than that. And I'm really excited to watch him play. And apparently Aaron Rodgers is too. High praise as he compares him to none other than DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
I don't like to do a lot of comparisons, but I will in this case. From the beginning, I felt like he reminded me a lot of DeBrickashaw. Personality-wise, and then just the consistency. And I obviously didn't play with Brick, but I know people that did, and I watched him from afar, and it always felt like he was just so consistent week in and week out. Like he wasn't getting beat a lot, he was in the right place, he was good against the run. In the run game, he was good pass blocking, and it's just never been too big for Olu. I feel like he's been consistent every day. He make a mistake, he doesn't make a repeat mistake. His attitude, he's very quiet, he just kind of goes about his business. So I think he's in a good spot. Obviously, he's played a lot of left tackle, but he's played right tackle for us in training camp, on the look team the first 3 weeks. So I'm very confident in Olu.
That is a great comp. Aaron Rodgers is not the only one to make that. I think it was Connor Rodgers who also made that comparison to DeBrickashaw Ferguson, who was an awesome left tackle for a decade for this New York Jets team. He was elite in pass protection. He missed one snap in his entire career, and it was a trick play back in 2008, his third year in the league. The guy was an absolute stud, and almost feels like underrated somehow. Like, he was awesome, and I think most Jet fans think he was a really good player for the Jets, which he was, but he might even be underrated, just because, you know, Nick Mangold gets a lot of love on that offensive line. And just in that era, I don't want to say forgotten, because I don't think that's completely fair. I mean, he is highly recognized in the Jets' history, but maybe we didn't appreciate how good he was for so long, because the Jets have had a revolving door at left tackle trying to figure out that position ever since he's left, which is 9 years ago. Mekhi Becton, not the long-term answer. They tried stopgap options after that. Ryan Clady in 2016, woof. Kelvin Beachum was actually not a bad Band-Aid fix. George Fant had a good year, but moral of the story, I think we can see Olu Fashanu develop into a player like D'Brickashaw. That's a very, very high praise, and the Jets should be absolutely thrilled if he has a career that is similar to what D'Brickashaw Ferguson's was. I'm excited to watch him the next 2 weeks or so. Again, I feel for Morgan Moses. I love the pickup. He didn't have the best start to this year, but he's a reliable veteran right tackle, and you know, I'm wishing him the best in recovery. Easy guy to root for, but in the time being, it's going to be the Olu Fashanu show, and I think he's ready for the test, honestly. The last thing that I want to get into is Aaron Rodgers and Breece Hall having some fun at the podium. Breece Hall asks Aaron Rodgers a question.
The O-line and the running backs and tight ends that went to take them in these first few games. I feel like they've been playing really well. You have done a nice job in protection. I'd like to cut down on some of the complaining in the huddle, though, if I could. You got to remember, like, it's like in the Aesop fable, like, you know, we need to be the tortoise. You know, it's slow and steady wins the race. Sometimes you get a little antsy out there. You want the ball. You're complaining. You're, in my ear the whole time. We just got to understand it comes in the flow. Off the record.
I wanted to include this because I absolutely love Aaron Rodgers chirping Breece Hall about how he acts in the huddle. That was really funny. But why I also wanted to include this one, because it was entertaining. But number two, if you remember, this is a team that's in disarray. Everyone in the building hates Aaron Rodgers. There's many, many problems. Vibes are bad. They're horrible. They're not good. You know, Aaron Rodgers shoved the coach and is upset. He hates Robert Saleh. The team's in disarray, and clearly this is obviously me being tongue-in-cheek, but there is a narrative that Aaron Rodgers is not a good teammate and that the players do not like Aaron Rodgers. You could talk, there's certain fan bases and just NFL fans in general that don't like Rodgers. There's media members that don't like Aaron Rodgers, but around the league, I still think Aaron Rodgers is one of the most respected guys. And sure, maybe things did not end well for him in Green Bay. And maybe if you ask him, he would have done things a little bit differently with how things came to a close in Green Bay. But since he's come to the Jets, I think he's been a really good teammate. And I know we're going to talk, mini camp, 2 days of mini camp is going to get thrown in the face, but I don't think Breece Hall is holding that against him. Sauce Gardner mentioned it not being a problem at the time. Tyler Conklin, the same thing. So this team's actually really fun. And for Jet fans, and this is something that I've tried to explain in my videos, because I get comments from other fan bases who like just don't get it. Like, as a Jet fan, we haven't seen a team make the playoffs since 2010. We've been excited and optimistic going into seasons, but that has quickly derailed. This time, like, let Jet fans have fun. Like, this team is good. There's a lot of young players on this team. There's veteran players on this team. There's a lot of characters that are very easy to root for. Let us enjoy it. That's basically all I want to say. Like, let's enjoy this. So Jets play against Denver this week. I will have that video previewed for you guys tomorrow morning. Excited to do that, preview that game. I'll tell you everything you need to know going into the week 4 matchup. But for now, please make sure to leave a like before you go. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.